The first thing I'd like to ask you is, have you ever looked at your business and thought to yourself, I know how to do this, but suddenly everything seems so difficult. Nothing exploded. There was no public failure, no dramatic crashes, but life hit you. It could have been loss, burnout, anxiety, financial stress, or maybe even something you didn't even see coming. From the outside, everything looked fine, but inside, something shifted. Decisions felt heavier, sales were harder, and risks felt bigger. And quietly, you wondered, what is wrong with me? Here's the truth. Your strategy's not broken. You've been in survival mode too long. Now let's break this down. When life hits, your primary brain function is protection. The nervous system shifts into threat detection. It scans for danger. It reduces risks. It slows initiation, moving forward. Now, that's brilliant in crisis, but in business, that same protection reduces the speed of decision. Your risk tolerance, sales confidence, and creative authorities, they're gone. We don't know how to react. Your brain thinks that it's keeping you safe, but it's quietly slowing your revenue. Nothing's wrong with your intelligence and nothing is wrong with your skills. But when safety is running your business, momentum stalls. And I see three patterns over and over again. The first pattern is the achiever. The achiever becomes careful. Before life hit, the achiever moved fast. She trusted her gut, she launched, and she decided. Then something changed. Now she rewrites offers, she delays emails, she delays sales, and she waits for the certainty that never comes. The achiever says things like, I know what to do, but I just keep hesitating. I remember after my own loss, staring at a simple email I had written 100 times before, and I could not hit send. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because something inside of me did not feel safe moving forward. And this is where your passion goes quiet. Not your drive, not your ethics, your desire. The achiever doesn't lose ambition. She stops initiating. She stops moving forward. Now, here's the educational truth. Initiation requires a sense of safety. When safety stops or it drops off, we start feeling risky. Transformation begins when we start to understand that I'm not lazy, I'm protecting, and we have to release that protection. Pattern 2 is the carrier. Now, the carrier takes it all on. The carrier responds differently. She gets stronger. She takes on more clients, more responsibility, more emotional labor. And the carrier says things like, if I don't do it myself, it's not going to get done. Everything keeps running, but nothing grows. Sales flatten, energy drains, and expansion, it disappears. And this is where power becomes protective. She still shows up, but she overthinks, second guesses every decision, and she holds on too much weight. And you see, growth needs margin, it needs room. Transformation happens when she moves from control back into leadership. Leadership delegates and control suffocates. Pattern 3, the giver. The giver shrinks in sales. The giver becomes softer, more flexible, more available, more accommodating. She lowers her prices. She extends payment plans, and she avoids strong asks, strong conversations. The giver says things like, I made it easier for my clients, but harder on myself. Sales conversations feel awkward, not because she lacks skills, but because she's trying to not take up space. This is where profit destabilizes, not from incompetence, but from shrinking. The educational truth is sales authority requires internal worth stability. When identity is shaken, pricing shakes too. Transformation can only begin when she sees that my compassion does not require my contraction. Be kind and be powerful. Now, the real loss after a major life hit is that women lose 3 things: their passion, which is their initiation, their decision authority or power, and their sales authority, profit, which means passion goes quiet, power gets protective, and profit destabilizes. You didn't lose intelligence, you stayed in protective patterns far too long. And pushing harder doesn't fix it. This is the framework I use, Business CPR. Restore passion, power, and profit. Step 1 is restore passion. Remove the internal brakes. Step 2, restore power. Regulate before rebuilding. And step 3, restore profit. Rebuild your sales authority. Boundaries strengthen and pricing stabilizes. So if your business has not felt the same since life hit, notice nothing is wrong with you. You've adapted, you survived. But survival mode is not a growth mode. You're not broken, you're buried. Buried women do not need pressure, they need restoration. So restore your passion, reclaim your power, rebuild your profit. Momentum is not gone. It is waiting for you to feel safe enough to claim it again. When you do, you'll not just rebuild your revenue, you'll lead from wholeness. And that's the kind of leadership that changes everything.
Together we are Global Speakers Talk.